My wife's best friend wants me to pay all of her bills. These stories are too good to miss. Subscribe now and stay entertained every single week. I never thought my wife's best friend would become such a problem in my life. But there I was, stuck in a toxic cycle of paying her bills, dealing with her defensiveness, and watching her sabotage my relationship with my girlfriend. It all started innocently enough. My wife, Sarah, and her best friend, Mia, had been inseparable since college. They were more like sisters than friends, and when Sarah passed away 2 years ago, I felt obligated to look out for Mia. At first, it was small things, helping her with rent when she was short, covering a few utility bills, even buying her groceries when she was struggling. I didn't mind. Mia had been there for Sarah during her illness, and I wanted to repay her kindness. But then, things started to spiral out of control. Mia's requests became more frequent and more demanding. "I need help with my car payment," she'd say, her voice dripping with desperation. "I can't make rent this month," she'd text, followed by a string of crying emojis. At first, I didn't think much of it. I had the money, and I wanted to help. But then, I started to notice a pattern. Every time I asked Mia to do something for me, pick up a package, water my plants while I was out of town, or even just return a favor, she'd get defensive. "I'm not your maid," she'd snap. "I'm not asking you to be my maid," I'd reply, trying to keep my cool. "I'm just asking for a little help in return." But Mia didn't see it that way. To her, my requests were an inconvenience, an imposition on her time. Things got even more complicated when I started dating again. My girlfriend, Claire, was kind, understanding, and everything I needed after losing Sarah. But Mia didn't like her. "She's not right for you," Mia said one night over dinner. "What are you talking about?" I asked, my voice rising. "She's just not Sarah," Mia replied, her tone sharp. I felt a surge of anger. No one's going to be Sarah. But that doesn't mean I don't deserve to be happy. Mia didn't respond, but the tension between us was palpable. Mia's dislike for Claire quickly turned into sabotage. She'd make snide comments about Claire's appearance, her job, even her cooking. "She's not good enough for you," Mia said during one particularly heated argument. "That's not your decision to make," I replied, my voice firm. But Mia didn't stop. She started texting Claire, making passive-aggressive comments, and trying to drive a wedge between us. "I don't know why you're with him," Mia wrote in one text. "He's still hung up on Sarah." Claire showed me the text, her eyes filled with hurt. "Is this true?" she asked. "No," I said, my voice shaking with anger. "Mia's just trying to cause trouble." But the damage was done. The final straw came when Mia asked me to pay for a vacation she couldn't afford. "I need a break," she said, her voice whiny. "And I can't do it without your help." I stared at her, my jaw tightening. "Mia, I've helped you more than enough. It's time for you to start taking care of yourself." She didn't take it well. "After everything I've done for you," she shouted. "After everything I did for Sarah, this is how you repay me." I felt a surge of anger. "I've repaid you 10 times over. But I'm not your ATM, Mia. And I'm not going to let you ruin my relationship with Claire." She stormed out, slamming the door behind her. Mia's reaction to my refusal to fund her vacation was just the beginning. What started as a tense argument quickly escalated into a full-blown war, and I found myself caught in the middle of a toxic dynamic that threatened to destroy my relationship with Claire and my own peace of mind. After a blowout, Mia gave me the silent treatment. No texts, no calls, no passive-aggressive comments. For a few days, I thought maybe she'd finally gotten a message. But I should have known better. Instead of confronting me directly, Mia took her frustrations out on Claire. She started posting cryptic messages on social media, clearly aimed at my girlfriend. "Some people just don't know their place," she wrote in one post. "If you're going to step into someone else's life, at least have the decency to respect the people who were there first." Claire showed me the post, her face pale. "Is she talking about me?" she asked. I sighed, running a hand through my hair. "Probably, but don't let her get to you. Mia's just trying to stir up drama." But it wasn't that simple. Mia didn't stop at social media. She started spreading lies about Claire to our mutual friends, claiming she was using me and trying to replace Sarah. "I heard Claire's only with you for your money," one of my friends said during a phone call. "That's not true," I replied, my voice firm. "Claire's not like that." But not everyone believed me. Some friends stopped inviting Claire to gatherings, and the tension grew every day. Finally, I decided to confront Mia. I showed up at her apartment, my anger barely contained. "We need to talk," I said, my voice cold. Mia crossed her arms, her expression defiant. "About what?" "About the lies you've been spreading about Claire," I said, "and about the way you've been treating me. I've helped you more than enough, Mia. It's time for you to stop acting like I owe you something." Mia's eyes narrowed. "I don't owe you anything either. I was there for Sarah when you weren't. I was there for her when she was sick, when she needed someone the most. And now you're just going to throw me aside for some random girl." I felt a surge of anger. "Claire's not a random girl. She's my girlfriend. And Sarah's gone, Mia. I'm allowed to move on." Mia stared at me for a long moment, then turned and walked away. After our confrontation, Mia's behavior only got worse. She started showing up at my house unannounced, demanding money and making snide comments about Claire. "You're making a mistake," she said during one visit. "Claire's not right for you. She's just going to break your heart." I didn't respond. I just closed the door in her face. The final straw came when Mia showed up at Claire's workplace, causing a scene and accusing her of stealing me. "You need to back off," Mia shouted, her voice echoing through the office. "He's not yours to take." Claire called me in tears and I rushed over to calm things down. Mia, you need to leave, I said, my voice firm. She stared at me, her eyes filled with rage. You're choosing her over me? This isn't about choosing anyone, I replied. This is about you crossing a line. You need to stop, or I'm cutting you out of my life for good. Mia didn't respond. She just turned and walked away. Mia's behavior had reached a breaking point, and I knew I couldn't let it continue. Her constant interference, her lies, and her toxic entitlement were destroying my relationship with Claire and my own mental health. It was time to take a stand, no matter how hard it would be. I called Mia and asked her to meet me at a neutral location, a coffee shop downtown. I didn't want to risk another scene at my house or Claire's workplace. When she arrived, she looked defiant, as if she already knew what I was going to say. We need to set some boundaries, I said, my voice calm but firm. Mia crossed her arms. What boundaries? You need to stop asking me for money, I said. I've helped you more than enough, and it's time for you to take responsibility for your own life. Mia's eyes narrowed. So that's it? After everything I've done for you and Sarah, you're just going to cut me off? This isn't about cutting you off, I replied. This is about you respecting my boundaries. And you need to stop interfering in my relationship with Claire. It's none of your business. Mia stared at me, her face red with anger. You're making a huge mistake. Maybe, I said, but it's my mistake to make. Mia didn't take the ultimatum well. She started posting even more cryptic messages on social media, painting herself as the victim and me as the villain. Some people forget who was there for them when they needed it most, she wrote in one post. But karma always comes around. The comments were brutal. People I didn't even know were calling me names, demanding I do better, and siding with Mia without hearing my side of the story. But I didn't engage. I knew better than to feed into her drama. The final straw came when Mia showed up at my house again, this time with a sob story about how she was going to be evicted if I didn't help her. I have nowhere else to go, she said, tears streaming down her face. I felt a pang of guilt, but I held firm. Mia, I've helped you more than enough. It's time for you to figure things out on your own. She stared at me, her eyes filled with rage. You're really going to abandon me like this? I'm not abandoning you, I said. I'm setting boundaries. And if you can't respect that, then I can't have you in my life. Mia didn't respond. She just turned and walked away. After that, Mia stopped contacting me. I heard through mutual friends that she'd moved in with a cousin in another city, but I didn't know for sure. As for Claire, things started to improve once Mia was out of the picture. We were able to focus on our relationship without the constant drama and interference. The fallout with Mia was messy, painful, and exhausting. But as the dust settled, I realized I had come out stronger on the other side. I'd learned hard lessons about boundaries, self-respect, and the importance of protecting the people I cared about. And while the scars from that experience would always be there, they didn't define me. Mia's social media campaign fizzled out once she realized I wasn't going to engage. Her posts, which had once been flooded with supportive comments, became a graveyard of unanswered rants. People moved on to the next drama, and Mia faded in the background. I heard through mutual friends that she was still struggling, jumping from one financial crisis to another, relying on others to bail her out. Part of me felt sorry for her, but another part of me knew that until she faced her own issues, she'd keep repeating the same patterns. The hardest part of moving on wasn't cutting Mia out of my life. It was repairing the damage she'd done to my relationship with Claire. I just need to know that you're all in, Claire said one night as we sat on the couch, talking things through. I am, I said, my voice firm. Mia's out of my life for good. I'm not going to let anyone come between us again. Claire smiled, her eyes soft. Good, because I'm not going anywhere. It was a turning point for us. Without Mia's constant interference, we were able to focus on building a strong, healthy relationship based on trust and mutual respect. With Mia out of the picture, life started to feel normal again. Claire and I settled into a routine, spending our weekends exploring new restaurants, going on hikes, and just enjoying each other's company. I also reconnected with friends who had distanced themselves during the drama with Mia. It felt good to have my support system back. Mia didn't take my new life well. She started posting cryptic messages on social media, trying to paint herself as the victim once again. Some people move on too quickly, she wrote in one post. But karma always comes around. I didn't engage. Instead, I posted a picture of Claire and me at a charity event, smiling and happy. The caption was simple. When you find someone who loves you for you, everything else just falls into place. Mia didn't respond, and I didn't expect her to. She was a part of my past, and I was finally ready to leave her there. Claire and I have been together for 2 years now, and things are better than I ever could have imagined. We built a life based on trust, honesty, and mutual respect. Everything I didn't have with Mia in the picture. As for Mia, I heard through the grapevine that she's still searching for happiness. I don't know if she'll ever find it, but I hope she does. More stories like this are coming soon. Subscribe now, so you never miss the drama.